Come in.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Dr. Thompson from Gartner. It's nice
Hi.
to finally meet you.
Absolutely. Thanks
May
for
I
coming in.
sit?
Please.
Of course. So we talked about having a 20-minute meeting. Is that still okay for you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty busy right now. You've heard the news.
I have. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to hear that. I called Sam
Thanks.
myself last night to see how he was doing. And
Yeah,
it's a lot, I'm sure, for you.
it's tough. You know, the whole
Yeah.
organization was kind of rocked by it, and I'm kind of thrusted into a new seat right now that I have never been in before. So
Absolutely.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely. So how has that been? Just you know?
Yeah, I've been with the company I'm the most senior person in the department, which is, I guess,
Absolutely.
why they put me here as a CIO. I'm nervous to be transparent, and there's a lot of pressure on me to make the right decisions. I know you and Sam have spoken a little bit about
Absolutely. Yeah.
our three biggest needs.
Definitely.
Those are still there. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Business continues on,
Right.
but my biggest need right now is I need help get my arms around this organization and knowing how to run it, because I've never been CIO before.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Well, that's why I'm actually here today. What I'd love to do is kind of talk a little bit more about that. But first, I must say, I took the liberty of reviewing your LinkedIn before.
Yeah.
May I call you Charlie, by the way?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. I took the liberty of reviewing your LinkedIn. I saw that you took a trip to France with your family last
I did.
month.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
How was that?
It was awesome. Kind of a once in a lifetime trip, and I hope to continue to take more trips like that, but I gotta keep my job to make sure I'm able to do it.
Absolutely. Well, très bon. I actually went to France myself with my family last year, and I loved it. We got to visit Paris and Nice, and it was just incredible, life-changing experience.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you got to experience that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Have you been on any other exciting trips?
That's been really the biggest one as of late. So it was a really cool experience for my family.
Absolutely. Well, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But the reason I mentioned travel is because today I'd like to take a trip with you and explore some of the challenges that you may be having in your new position as interim CIO.
Yeah.
I know from what you've said already that there's been some pressure for sure. And talk about some ways that Gartner can alleviate that pressure and help you to achieve those mission critical priorities that you've been faced with.
That sounds great. And I wasn't privy to these conversations with Sam, but I know he was also talking to Forrester.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me more about that?
Like I said, I wasn't in those conversations. I know, you had a relationship with them just as you. I haven't spoken with them yet. You guys, got to me first. That's why you're sitting here.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Can you give me, I'm new to this. There's a lot of pressure on every decision I make. Why Gartner versus Forrester?
So no, I really appreciate you sharing that and being candid with me.
Yeah.
Well, Forrester is more focused on the research side rather than the consulting side like Gartner is. So we actually don't have a lot of overlap with them, but in the areas that we do have overlap, we are the leader in every category.
Okay.
So we can be found in over 131 countries, and in every category, as you can see on this chart here, we really are the market leader.
Okay.
So even though we are more established, even though Forrester can sometimes be a little bit on the cheaper side, Gartner does provide much more value in the long term because we do excel at all of the major categories that you could be looking for as your new position.
Okay.
Does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, I think we're off to a good start.
Absolutely, perfect. So what I'd love to do is just ask you to start by asking you a few questions, if that's okay with you. Perfect. So if we were to uncover some value today for Gartner, who would be making that decision as well as you?
As the interim CIO, I guess I'm the decision maker.
Right, I mean, absolutely. So there's no one else that you think would need to be involved in the decision at the moment?
I think so. I just, unfortunately, I don't really know how to answer that question.
Yeah,
this is a new role for me, but I would think I'm the decision maker.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I would think as a CIO, definitely. So I agree with you there for sure. And what do you tend to look for in these relationships in your experience? Because you've had a lot of experience in the IT field. So what do you tend to look for in those partnerships?
Well, I've had a lot of experience in the IT field. I know my specific area within technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as managing an operation like this, for instance, we just had 3 people leave the department.
Oh my goodness.
I'm now in charge of, backfilling those positions.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in interviews before. I've provided feedback, but I've never been the one pulling the trigger, who to look for, who to bring in. All that stuff is new to me.
Absolutely.
So overall, getting my arms around our IT department and keep it running to, not only hit the initiatives that we talked about, with solar power, but all our other initiatives right now within the department.
Absolutely, and we're definitely going to review that for sure. So would it be fair to say that you're looking for a company that has a lot of experience and can help guide you through that?
Oh yeah, I need all the guidance and help I can get.
And would it also be fair to say that you would need this as soon as possible because of the pressure that's currently on you?
If you can convince me Gartner can help and be the right partner for us, I need it today.
Yeah, absolutely, today.
Yeah.
I can completely see where you're coming from. So just to kind of review what I previously discussed with Sam, he was talking about how you had a lot of data, but you didn't know how to analyze it.
Yep.
And that you really needed help finding an analytical tool such as Snowflake, Periscope, or Python.
Yep.
Is that correct?
It is.
Okay, absolutely. And that if you weren't able to find that tool, that you could risk losing tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, it could certainly be costly.
You would agree with that,
Absolutely.
that figure?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. And then we also discussed how finding out how to use that tool as well will help you in learning how to find those plants for the solar generation.
Yep.
And that if you're not able to do that, that could hurt your growth because you really need to, hit that 20% solar generation mark. Is that
correct?
Fair? Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, I haven't been privy to those conversations, but I would assume so.
From your experience in the department, absolutely. And then lastly, kind of what we touched on a little bit already, but really finding the right solar power energy generation method to use and the tools that's going to help you do that. And again, you could risk losing millions of dollars if you're not able to do that. And of course, I'm sure your job security as well as the new interim CIO. Would that be accurate to say?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's on to make the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely feel that. So what else, other issues are you having in your new role? I know you said kind of lack of experience. Can you expand on that?
Well, specific issues, it's almost what I don't know.
Okay.
And what's going to come my way that I'm unable to predict just because of experience of not being in this position.
Absolutely.
That's where I need some help and guidance from a partner.
Sure. So it sounds like a lot of uncertainty is really causing the issue.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. And if you're not able to resolve that uncertainty, if you're not able to gain that experience that you need, what will this mean for you in your new position?
I mean, to be quite honest, I'll lose my job.
Right. So again, with that, we definitely don't want that to happen. So I'm glad that I'm here today to try to help guide you through that process because that is a lot of pressure on your shoulders right there. Okay. So if you had a way of knowing for certain that you were choosing the right analytical tool, the right solar power generation, how would that benefit you and your company and your new position?
If I know I'm making the right decision, one, I have the confidence to pull the trigger on it with help and guidance from my partner. As far as the company, we're gonna be able to hit our goals. We're gonna be able to make sure the initiative with our solar initiative is completed by in 2025. So
2025.
Yeah, I mean that's all very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna help you reach that 20% goal by 2025. Well, we definitely want to help you do that for sure. If I could show you a solution to these issues, would you be interested?
Certainly.
All right, excellent. So for the first thing you mentioned is really just finding that analytical tool. And we have a number of things that are going to help you with that. But first, I'd like to just briefly go over who Gartner is as a company, because I think this is important since you said you don't have a lot of experience as a CIO, right?
Yep.
So we are the world's leading IT research and advisory company. And what that means for you is that we are 100% unbiased and we have the actionable insight that you need in your new position as a C-level executive.
Okay.
And we actually serve over 75% of the 500, Fortune 500.
Okay.
So we've got that experience as well, which I think is really nice. And so in terms of finding the analytical tool, a really great tool that we have, which is completely research driven, is called the Magic Quadrant. So what this would do in your case, I know you mentioned Snowflake, Periscope, Python. It's going to group these into 4 different categories. So this is going to save you time and protect that $1 million of investment money. Can you see how this would benefit you in choosing
a company? Helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. It really just simplifies it and puts it into an easy graph so that you can immediately see what kind of choice is best for your company. And then another thing which I think would be really beneficial is really interpreting that data. So that's where our strategic consulting piece comes in.
Okay.
And what this is going to do is an analyst who's had decades of experience in the field that you're in, so the electrical company, of course, and TerraMetra, is really going to create a roadmap to success for you. So it's going to teach you how to best to use these tools so you can get the maximum ROI on your investment. Can you see how this would benefit you in reaching your goals?
Well, yeah, you mentioned an analyst. I've got analysts on my team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need, as a CIO, I need help making decisions from the CIO level. Will the analyst be able to help? I just feel, an analyst wouldn't be helpful. I imagine this is a costly purchase. I feel my management would say, why are we paying this much when it's not even, CIO level decisions anymore?
Yeah. So are you concerned about more of the value? How many analysts do you have already, if I may ask?
I believe I'd have to double check. I think it's 3 or 4.
Absolutely. So the thing that really makes us stand out in terms of, I know you said you do have 3 or 4 analysts, but we have over 2,000 analysts. And they have no agenda whatsoever. They don't invest in the tech companies they cover. So this means they have absolutely no agenda. They're just there to help you, and they do have the experience. We actually have deep coverage in the electrical industry. So what that means is that we really have substantial evidence and research into the field that you need to go into, especially as solar power is really new for TerraMetra. Can you see how that would help guide you through this transition?
No, it does. Technically, I certainly think it's valuable. It's just, I think I'm stuck on is not having something for me as a CIO, management, budgetary responsibilities, personnel responsibilities. That's what I'm concerned with from just having to be analyst.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have another tool, which in that case I think would be really helpful to you. So it's called the IT budget tool. I'm actually going to just pull it out. I think a paper copy is a little bit easier. But what it does is it takes about 20 minutes to input, Charlie, and it's going to give you 27 pages worth of data. How long do you, right? How long do you think it would take to compile something like that?
I was going to tell you.
Yeah, no worries. Well, your best friend is basically going to be the executive summary. And what this is going to do is it's going to break down your IT costs and other operational costs as well. And it's going to compare it to the industry average. So you can quickly gauge what areas you might be over or underspending in so that you can adjust the budget as needed, which is going to help you in your new role and, of course, achieving that growth goal and the solar power goal, of course. Can you see why this would be fun?
No, this is great, for the budget area. I want it's not just the budget. It's everything everything that the CIO is responsible for. I'm not responsible for it. It's new to me. So that piece is great.
Right. What other pieces of it are you concerned about?
Personnel. This initiative is one of our many initiatives. I mentioned the three roles that we have to backfill.
Definitely.
Contract negotiation. Running an organization, IT department day to day, all of which I'm now responsible for.
Well, we definitely have all of those tools for you for sure. You mentioned contract review as well. We do offer that as well. So we found that most contracts are not cost optimized. So that means that 75% of contracts, there's 15 to 20% saving, which is, as I'm sure you would agree, a substantial saving. For example, I know that in the electrical industry, contracts are about 40 to 50 million. Is that fair for your company as well?
I think so. I haven't been privy to those companies before. It seems right.
Yeah, absolutely. So even on the conservative side, even if we say we're only going to save you 10%, that's still $4 million. That you can use that to then reinvest into your solar plan. So can you see why that might be a helpful tool in your new role?
Yeah, definitely.
Does that help answer your question and concern as well?
It helps.
Definitely helps. Is there anything else I can do to help ease that concern a little bit for you?
Just I keep on going back to the analyst piece. Having access or advice from the CIO level would ultimately be nice.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing as well is I didn't mention this, but some of our analysts actually have been CIOs. So that's helpful to know as well. So some of them in particular have actually had 30 years of experience. So definitely what we would do is we would assign you to an analyst that is one of those former CIOs. So that would help guide you. I should have mentioned that before. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that would probably be really helpful for your situation.
Yeah, no, personally, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me. That's what I need, but my fear is my management hears that we're doing this. Why do they need me? Right? We've got this service here that a former CIO is advising on the decisions. Now, is that a replacement for me?
No, absolutely not. No. So you're kind of concerned more about your job security again, right? Yeah, absolutely. So our analysts are very happy. We pay them very well. So they're very happy at our company and they're solely focused on being an analyst. So they definitely wouldn't be taking your job. All they're doing is making it easier. They're making your job easier for you. Does that help answer that a little bit?
It does, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we talked about the contract review. We talked about the IT budget, and we've also discussed strategic consulting. In terms of any other needs you might have, finding the right solar powered energy. So this is kind of going to go back to those analytical tools again, but this would also be a really great one as well. So this is called critical capabilities, and this is a little bit more focused than the Magic Quadrant. So this is really going to break it down for your needs. I know you said experience is important to you. Let's say you're also looking for reliability in the solar power. I'm sure would you say that's important as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. So this is going to rank the vendors by reliability, for example, and you'll be able to quickly see it's going to save you that time so you can focus on the projects that you need to focus on and make the right decisions so you don't risk losing that tens of millions of dollars that you're at risk of losing, and you can protect your job as well, which at the end of the day is one of our goals as well,
Yeah.
because we're here to help you. So do you see the value in what
No,
this can mean for you and
it's
your
really helpful,
decision?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we discussed how some of our tools are gonna reduce that risk for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna protect your job, they're gonna help you grow and make sure that you reach that 20% goal by 2025, as you said.
Yep.
Is there anything else holding you back? Any other reservations that you have?
Just the, like I said, every decision I make now,
Right.
the pressure's on. To
Absolutely.
make the right one, knowing, how do I know that this is the right decision?
Yeah. So what's making you think that it might not be the right decision?
Just the unknown.
Just the unknown.
Just never being in the seat before. I haven't asked, what this costs. I'm not sure about that. I've made CIT purchases before,
Okay.
$2,000, $5,000, $10,000 tops.
Yeah, absolutely.
So not sure where this falls in line with that.
Right.
But these are all important decisions, and just making sure that it's the right one.
Right, absolutely. Well, we definitely want to reduce that uncertainty for
Okay.
you. The nice thing is that, as I mentioned a little bit about, we do have that experience to help guide you through this transition.
Okay.
We really are those consultative experts. So we've
Yeah.
worked with 15,000 client organizations and 73% of the Global 500. So we've guided many companies like yours through this difficult transition period that you're in.
Yeah.
And so we really do have that experience, so we can reduce that uncertainty for you. And as I
Okay.
mentioned, those analysts who are CIOs, that's going to be a big helpful tool for you to help guide you through it as well.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable with it now, Charlie?
It does. I know they'll be focused on our initiatives, specifically this,
Right.
moving towards solar 20%.
And finding the
How much
analysts.
involvement will they have in the day-to-day operations of my IT department?
Absolutely. So that's where we would kind of go over more of the contract piece of it. So I'm going to pull out the pricing so that you can kind of see a little bit more of what each offer would be to you.
Okay.
So basically from what you're saying is, I know you need a lot of experience and you want to reduce that uncertainty.
I need help.
Absolutely. I mean that's a big thing that you're admitting that. I really appreciate you being honest about it, because you can't fix something if you don't admit that it's a problem, right? So I think the enterprise level agreement is going to be probably the best fit for you. So that's going to be 800 hours of analyst time. So those former CIOs, that's 100 business days worth of time.
Okay.
In addition, you'll also get 3 seats of Gartner report access. So what that means is you'll have access to that unbiased research, and also 2 other people will have access as well. So you can delegate as you need, so you don't have to be spending all of this time on the research. You can have people for you. I know you said 3 people have left, but you also said you have 3 to 4 analysts, so they could work on that and they could have that unbiased research at their fingertips. And then lastly, it's going to give you that on-site strategy workshop to help you work through that. So you'll have that really, really one-on-one time with not just one analyst, but many analysts.
Okay.
And so you'll be able to get that experience and reduce that uncertainty that I know is important to you. And I know that the price kind of stands out here.
It's a lot of money.
Right. I know you said you're used to more 10,000. However, you also said that you could be losing as much as $10 million or more if you make the wrong investment. This is 40 times less than the cost of just that one risk. So you could be losing 40 times more. So this is, even though it is a substantial investment, definitely, in comparison, it's a much smaller price to pay to help guide you through that transition, so you can make sure Terrametra is able to reach the goals and protect your job, at the end of the day.
It is. It's a big investment.
It
I mean,
is.
that type of number, if it's the wrong choice, you lose your job over. And that's, as somebody who has a family to support, that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that to happen. I will say though that I have a testimonial for that might help as well. So we actually were able to help Duke Energy, another energy company, through a transition as well. They were also converting to not just solar, but also wind, but they were converting to renewable energy as well. And we were able to help them through that. And they were also new to the role as well. So this might be helpful for you. I'll leave it as well. And I can send you a lot more where that comes from, but we do have.
It would be great if I could.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely can. But what I would love to do is move forward today, because I know you mentioned that you need to get this fixed today.
I do.
And I don't want you to have that stress on your back anymore. I want to take care of that for you, so that you have the people behind you, the team of those 2,000 analysts, that research, all of those tools that I mentioned that are going to ensure that you don't make a costly mistake.
Okay. I would agree. I want to make sure I'm following all the the red tape within my internal organization. I probably, it's my decision on which one we choose. I want to run this by our CFO, just because it is, a $250,000 purchase. I want to make sure that it's able to get approved, and I'm not going to run into anything on the back end.
Okay, so you mentioned your CFO. Could he come in here today, or he or she come in here today?
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't line up a meeting right after this.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because that way we can get the contract signed today and get this fixed for you and make sure that everything is, gonna work out.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Charlie.
Thanks. Great job.
Way to finish.
That was awesome.
Oh, it's still going.
I didn't get a signature, but